Something is happening to the weather pattern that we haven't seen in over a decade, and in the next 72 hours, temperatures are going to swing by 80 degrees in some locations. Right now, wind chills are at minus 40 degrees. By Thursday, those same areas will hit 60 degrees. That's a 100-degree swing in less than a week. And that's just the beginning. In the next 90 seconds, I'm going to show you why this rare setup is forming. At the 4-minute mark, you'll see the exact timeline for when temperatures flip in your area. And at the 7-minute mark, I'll reveal what this means for Christmas week. But first, you need to see what's happening right now. Because at this very moment, people across the Midwest are experiencing life-threatening cold. Minneapolis just hit minus 20 degrees. Not wind chill, actual temperature. And Chicago is sitting at 0 degrees this morning. The wind chill? Minus 40 in multiple states. At minus 40, exposed skin freezes in 10 minutes. Maybe less. This isn't just uncomfortable. This is dangerous. But here's what nobody saw coming. In 72 hours, this extreme cold disappears. Completely. Replaced by temperatures so warm you could wear shorts in Nebraska. In December, the jet stream is about to do something it almost never does. It's going to flip. Completely reverse, and when that happens, everything changes. Let me show you what happened in the last 24 hours, because this is important context. Yesterday, a major snowstorm moved through the Midwest and Ohio Valley, and the forecast was spot on. In fact, we overperformed in many areas. Tilton, Illinois recorded over 8 inches of snow, but that wasn't unusual. Widespread totals of 3 to 7 inches fell across the entire Midwest. Central Illinois saw 6 to 8 inches in many locations. But here's the shocking part. Indianapolis just recorded its second snowiest start to winter on record, and that record goes back to 1884, over 140 years of data, and this year is number 2. That tells you something about how this winter started. Aggressive, active, cold. This morning, snow is still falling across southern New England, New York City, and parts of Virginia. It'll continue through lunchtime. Then, most areas will see it taper off. Cape Cod could pick up another 6 to 7 inches before it's done. New York City, Long Island, southeastern Pennsylvania, all looking at 5 to 6 inches total. Most other areas in that corridor will see 2 to 4 inches. But forget about the snow for a moment, because what's coming next is far more dramatic. Let me ask you a question. What happens when temperatures swing 80 degrees in 3 days? The answer involves flooding, rapid snowmelt, rivers overflowing, roads turning to ice, and a complete transformation of the weather pattern. Here's how it unfolds. Right now, the jet stream has a massive dip over the Midwest. That dip is funneling Arctic air straight down from Canada. It's why Minneapolis is minus 20. It's why Chicago is at 0. It's why the entire Midwest is 40 to 45 degrees below average this morning. Tomorrow, that jet stream dip shifts east. And when it does, the Arctic blast follows. Virginia, the Carolinas, even Florida and Georgia will feel it late Sunday into Monday. Northern Florida could drop below freezing Monday morning. Areas that rarely see frost will wake up to hard freeze warnings. But while the east freezes, something else is happening out west. A massive ridge is building, high pressure, warm air, and it's going to dominate the Great Plains and desert Southwest by Tuesday and Wednesday. This ridge is going to create a temperature swing unlike anything we've seen this December. Nebraska, the Dakotas, and parts of the Midwest will see temperatures increase by 60 to 80 degrees over just a couple of days. Let me put that in perspective. If you're at minus 20 on Sunday in Minneapolis, you could be at 40 degrees by Wednesday. That's a 60-degree swing. Some areas will see even more. And if you have snow on the ground right now in Iowa, Indiana, or Illinois, I have news for you. It's not going to last. The melt will be rapid, potentially very rapid. Now, here's where this gets interesting, and this is critical for understanding what happens next. When snow melts that fast, the water has to go somewhere, and when the ground is frozen solid, it can't absorb the water, so it runs off into streams and rivers. And those rivers are already high from previous snowmelt and rain. This is setting up a flooding scenario across the Midwest, not from rain, from snowmelt, combined with potential rain showers and thunderstorms on Thursday. But wait, because there's another layer to this. While the center of the country warms up, the Pacific Northwest is about to get absolutely hammered by rain. We're talking about a multi-day atmospheric river event. Rivers in western Washington are already at major flood stage. Some have been there for days. And this week, it's only getting worse. Tuesday night into Wednesday will be the worst period. Heavy rainfall, potential mudslides, catastrophic flooding in some areas. This is a serious, ongoing crisis for Washington and Oregon. Now let me walk you through the temperature timeline, because the details matter here. This morning, Sunday, we're at the peak of the cold, -20 in Minneapolis. 0 in Chicago, 40 to 45 degrees below average across the Midwest and Ohio Valley. This afternoon brings no relief. High temperatures will barely reach single digits in many Midwestern cities. These aren't really high temperatures. They're basically low temperatures. Monday morning, the severe cold shifts east. Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois will still be brutal. The East Coast drops to 10 to 15 degrees below average. But notice what's happening out west. Warm air is building along the west coast. And by Monday afternoon, it starts moving over the Rocky Mountains. Tuesday afternoon is when the transformation begins. The central and northern plains will be 20 to 30 degrees above average. Many areas will reach above freezing for the first time in days. If you don't hit freezing on Tuesday, Wednesday is almost guaranteed. The Dakotas, Nebraska, Illinois, parts of the Ohio Valley, all moving toward average temperatures or above. Wednesday gets even warmer, and if you're in southern Illinois or western Kentucky with snow on the ground, it's going to melt fast. But Thursday? Thursday is the big day. Thursday is forecasted to be the warmest day of the entire week. A widespread area, including the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Mid-South, will be 10 to 20 degrees above average. Let me give you specific numbers for Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Illinois, Indianapolis, Indiana, all at or above 50 degrees. 50 degrees. In December, after being below zero just days earlier, that snow on the ground? It's melting. Quickly. Now, here's the catch. Those warm temperatures won't last all day Thursday. A line of showers and thunderstorms will move through. Behind that line, temperatures drop. But overall, you're looking at 36 to 48 hours of above freezing temperatures in Illinois and Indiana. Good news if you don't want snow on the ground. Bad news if you're worried about flooding from rapid melt. Friday brings another twist. Another Arctic blast arrives. Not as severe as the current one, but it's Arctic air nonetheless. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan will feel it first. A cold front pushes through the Ohio Valley and East Coast. Temperatures drop 10 to 15 degrees. And here's the danger. Any snow melt that's sitting on roadways could refreeze into ice. Friday morning could be treacherous for travel as temperatures drop back below freezing. Saturday and Sunday next weekend continue the warm trend in the south. Southern Plains and Mississippi Valley could approach record temperatures Saturday afternoon. Arkansas, Texas, even Kentucky could challenge records. And then we look toward Christmas, and this is where things get really interesting. The current forecast shows what meteorologists are calling a Torchmiss pattern. Above average temperatures, likely across the Great Plains, Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Desert Southwest for Christmas week. Now, things can change. We're still 10 days out, but the signal is strong for a warm Christmas for much of the country. The only exceptions? Pacific Northwest stays cooler and wetter. And the extreme northern tier, North Dakota, Minnesota, parts of New England, they stay below average. But for most of the country, the Climate Prediction Center is forecasting above average temperatures between December 21st and 27th. If you're in Texas or Oklahoma, you can put your winter jacket away. You won't need it for a while. Now, let's talk about what this pattern means for precipitation, because this is where multiple threats converge. The Pacific Northwest, as I mentioned, is the big story. Washington and Oregon are going to get hammered all week long. Extremely heavy rainfall over multiple days. Many rivers in western Washington are already at major flood level. The Skagit River, the Snoqualmie River, the Chehalis River, all running high, all at risk of catastrophic flooding this week. And the atmospheric river bringing this rain is very strong. The moisture is incredible, and it's going to persist for days. Normally, when we get atmospheric rivers in the Pacific Northwest, that moisture moves over the Rockies and creates big winter storms in the central United States. But the next 5 days are different. Most of this moisture is tracking further north. Canada is going to luck out with heavy snow, but the United States won't see much from this particular system. By Wednesday, we continue to see very heavy snow and rain across the Pacific Northwest. Tuesday night into early Wednesday is the absolute worst period for Washington and Oregon. Then late Wednesday and early Thursday, something develops. A very intense low-pressure system forms over the northern Rockies into southern Canada. This low could bring winter storm conditions to parts of southern Canada, and it might bring some winter weather to the upper Midwest and northern plains by Thursday. But the bigger story Thursday is severe weather potential in the Ohio Valley. When you get this much temperature contrast, warm air colliding with cooler air, thunderstorms develop. And Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening, we could see strong to isolated severe storms in the Ohio Valley. Isolated damaging winds are possible, not expecting much tornado risk, but with the temperature gradient we're dealing with, you never rule it out completely. Friday, that storm system moves into the northeast. Most of the snow stays in Canada. Lots of rain across New England. Not expecting significant snow accumulation in New England from this system. But then we reload for next weekend. Late Friday and Saturday, more moisture moves over the Rockies. Another storm system tries to develop Saturday and Sunday. We don't know yet how intense this will be, but snow is on the table for the Midwest and Great Lakes. Maybe another round of showers and thunderstorms in the Ohio Valley late Saturday and Sunday. And looking all the way to Christmas Day, the forecast becomes more uncertain. We don't know exactly what will happen precipitation-wise on Christmas, but there will be at least some moisture in the United States. Somebody will see snow on Christmas Day. At the bare minimum, most of the Midwest and Northern Plains should still have a white Christmas. Temperatures there remain below average, so existing snow should stick around. Now, let me bring this all together and show you the bigger picture, because this rare setup involves multiple moving parts. Part 1. Extreme cold right now, life-threatening in many areas. Wind chills of -40, actual temperatures of -20. This lasts through Monday in various parts of the country. Part 2. Dramatic warm-up Tuesday through Thursday. Temperature increases of 60 to 80 degrees in some locations, snow melting rapidly. Flooding concerns from runoff. Part 3. Active storm track. Multiple systems developing. Pacific Northwest getting pounded by rain. Potential severe weather in Ohio Valley. Winter weather chances for Great Lakes and Midwest next weekend. Part 4. Christmas week warmth. Most of the country seeing above-average temperatures. A Torchmiss pattern setting up. This is not a typical December pattern. This is rare. The speed of the temperature change is unusual. The magnitude is unusual. The timing right before Christmas is unusual. And it all stems from that jet stream flip I mentioned at the beginning. Right now, the jet stream dips south over the Midwest, bringing Arctic air. Within days, it lifts north, allowing warm air to flood northward from the Gulf of Mexico and the desert southwest. That transition is what creates the drama. The temperature swings, the rapid snowmelt, the storm potential. So what does this mean for you? If you're in the Midwest or Ohio Valley right now, you're dealing with dangerous, cold. Protect pipes. Limit outdoor exposure. Check on elderly neighbors. By midweek, you're dealing with a completely different scenario. Rapid warm-up, snowmelt, potential flooding. Watch for ice on roads Friday morning when temperatures drop back down. If you're on the East Coast, your cold arrives Monday. It doesn't last as long. By Wednesday and Thursday, you're warming up too. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, this is a serious week for you. Heavy rain, flooding, potential mudslides. Stay alert, have evacuation plans ready if you're in flood-prone areas. And if you have holiday travel plans, pay very close attention to forecasts. This active pattern means conditions can change rapidly. What's safe Tuesday might be dangerous Thursday. Thursday, in particular, watch for thunderstorms in the Ohio Valley. Delays possible. Turbulence likely. Not a great day for flying through that region. Next weekend brings another potential storm system. Too early for specifics, but if you're traveling Saturday or Sunday, have flexibility built into your plans. Christmas week looks calmer, but warm. Record warmth possible in some areas. If you're planning outdoor activities, the weather looks cooperative for most of the country. Let me emphasize the flooding risk again, because this is important. When you melt several inches of snow in 36 to 48 hours, and the ground is frozen solid, you get runoff. Streams and creeks that are normally small can become raging torrents. Low-lying areas flood. Roads wash out. Basements fill with water. This is especially concerning for areas that got 6 to 8 inches of snow yesterday and today. Central Illinois, parts of Indiana, areas of Ohio. You're going to see significant melt Wednesday and Thursday. Make sure storm drains are clear. Move valuables out of basements if you're in a flood-prone area. And don't drive through water on roadways. Turn around, don't drown. The refreeze Friday is another hazard. Water that's sitting on roads Thursday evening will turn to ice overnight Thursday into Friday as temperatures crash. Friday morning commute could be dangerous. Black ice, slick spots. Even if there's no precipitation, the roads will be hazardous. Now let's talk about what makes this setup truly rare. It's not just the temperature swing. We occasionally see big swings in December. It's not just the active storm track. December can be active. It's the combination of factors all happening simultaneously. Extreme cold to start. Record territory for some locations, followed immediately by extreme warmth, also potentially record territory. Multiple atmospheric rivers hitting the Pacific Northwest. Catastrophic flooding ongoing and worsening. Rapid snowmelt, creating inland flooding in areas that don't typically flood in winter. Severe weather potential in December in the Midwest. Rare, but the setup supports it. And all of this happening in the 10 days before Christmas. Peak travel time, peak shipping time, maximum impact. The last time we saw a pattern this dynamic in mid-December was over 10 years ago. And even that wasn't quite this extreme. The temperature swings we're forecasting are exceptional. Minus 20 to 60 degrees in 5 days is nearly unprecedented for this time of year in the Midwest. What's driving it is the jet stream doing something unusual. Instead of a gradual shift, it's a rapid flip. The pattern doesn't ease from cold to warm, it flips like a light switch. Tuesday, you're still in Arctic air. Wednesday, you're in spring-like conditions. That's how fast this happens. And the impacts compound. Frozen ground can't absorb melt water, so it runs off. Overwhelms drainage systems, floods, roads, and low-lying areas. Then, when the cold returns Friday, that standing water freezes, creates new hazards. Meanwhile, out west, the rain just keeps coming, day after day. Rivers that have no capacity left getting more water. The Skagit River near Mount Vernon is one to watch. It's already approached major flood stage multiple times this month. This week could push it over the edge into catastrophic flooding. Communities need to be prepared, sandbags ready, evacuation plans in place, emergency supplies stocked. This is not a drill. This is a serious, ongoing flooding emergency for Western Washington. And there's no quick end in sight. The atmospheric river pattern remains locked in place through at least the middle of next week. Now, looking beyond this immediate setup, what does it tell us about the rest of winter? The fact that we can swing from extreme cold to extreme warmth so quickly suggests we're in a very amplified pattern. Big ridges, big troughs, not a lot in between. This is actually favorable for winter weather lovers in the long run. Amplified patterns create opportunities. When the cold returns after Christmas, and it likely will in January, the stage is set for potential big winter storms. The ocean temperatures along the East Coast have been cooling. We've had multiple Arctic blasts. That cooling creates a better environment for coastal snowstorms. The Canadian snowpack is building, massive accumulations across the northern tier. When Arctic air masses move over that snowpack, they maintain their intensity better. So while we're going through a warm spell right now and into Christmas week, the ingredients are assembling for a potentially active late winter. January and February could be very interesting. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on the next 10 days. Here's your day-by-day breakdown. Extreme cold peaks, -40 wind chills, dangerous conditions, snow tapers off in northeast. Monday, cold shifts east. Midwest begins very slow warm-up. East Coast feels the Arctic blast. Tuesday, warm-up accelerates. Central Plains 20 to 30 above average. Snow begins melting. Wednesday, widespread warmth continues. Southern Illinois and western Kentucky seeing rapid snow melt. Thursday, warmest day. 50s across much of Midwest and Ohio Valley. Thunderstorms develop. Behind the storms, temperatures drop. Friday, Arctic air returns to northern tier. Temperatures fall below freezing. Refreeze concerns for wet roadways. Saturday, warm continues in south. Record highs possible, cooler in north. Next storm system develops. Snow possible Great Lakes and Midwest. Monday through Christmas, generally warm for most areas. Details still uncertain, but trend is clear. The next 48 hours are critical for preparation. If you're in the cold zone now, make sure you're protected through Monday. Then, prepare for the rapid transition to warmth. If you're in a snowmelt flood risk area, now is the time to clear drains and move valuables. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, make sure you have emergency supplies and evacuation plans ready. And everyone needs to stay flexible with travel plans. This is an active, changing pattern. What's true today might not be true Thursday. Tomorrow's forecast will dive deeper into the Christmas week pattern. I'll have updated model data, more specific timing on systems, and a clearer picture of what Christmas Day weather looks like. Because right now, we're seeing signals, but the specifics will sharpen as we get closer. The rare setup I talked about at the beginning, it's not just about one temperature swing. It's about a pattern that's going to dominate for the next 2 weeks. Active, dynamic, unpredictable in the details, but clear in the overall trend. And the trend is this: buckle up, because the weather is about to get very interesting.